Hello, it's Shawnee. Welcome back. In the office today, as you can see, and I've already kind of started my makeup. Yeah, so we're gonna keep on doing that. Now, today's outfit is very like therapist vibes. I have this blouse on and these like gray pants, gray sweater. We love a cardigan, and then I haven't put on my boots, so I have on my Skechers right now. Look at that flexibility. But I'm probably gonna wear these boots, or I might just keep the Skechers on, honestly. Okay, so I've been going into my Frosted Sequoia Mini Lorac Pro palette, and I've been using this shade here. Gonna keep using that. So lately I've been perusing the news as I do, and I saw this story about this woman. She gets pulled over. She's in Indiana, 41-year-old woman. She gets pulled over, and I don't remember what the traffic stop was about, like the reason that they pulled her over, but they did. So she's kind of cagey, right? They're like, what's going on? And somehow or another, they were like, we need to check this car. So they brought in like a drug sniffing dog. And the dog's like, yeah, girl, there's stuff in here. So she gets arrested. I'm going to go into the Nomad Air palette. I want to use this deeper brown. But as they're about to put her under arrest, she has a heart attack. Right? Full-on heart attack. So, you know, when they're putting someone into custody and something happens medically, they have to treat them. Like, you have to be treated before they can throw you in a cell. So EMS arrives, and homegirl refuses care. So she refuses like any sort of like electric, like anything, right? So they're like, okay, but we still, like, we have to take you to the hospital so you can get checked out. She gets to the hospital, she's still refusing care. And they're like, what is happening? What's going on, ma'am? Actually, do I want to use this palette? Let's do that. Well, I'll use a mix. They're like, what is going on? And, you know, they're trying to examine her, and the nurse is like, you know, what's happening? Homegirl fesses up to having like a little bit of fentanyl in her underwear. That's where she stuffed it. Come to find out, she didn't really have a heart attack. She was just faking. But she like wants to go to the bathroom, and they're like, no, because we think you're gonna try to get rid of stuff. So they do a scan. They do a body scan. I think by this time they're back at the jail. I don't even know how they figured this out. But they do a body scan, and they're like, there's something in there, in your body. There was an abnormality in her pelvic area. And she kept saying, I don't have nothing there, y'all. Ain't nothing there. So she only starts to say, okay, when they're like, we don't believe you. We know there's something up in there. And she admitted to concealing drugs. And she then proceeded to remove an avocado-sized plastic sandwich bag of drugs. Avocado size. They found 38.9 grams of methamphetamine, 10.4 grams of crack cocaine, and 9.2 grams of fentanyl. And in her car, it seems like there was gabapentin, naloxone, buprenorphine. Notebook found in her car contained names, weights, dollar amounts, and drug types. So she was arrested and charged with dealing meth, which is a level 2 felony, dealing like a narcotic drug, which is a level 2 felony, dealing cocaine, a level 3 felony, and dealing a controlled substance, which is a level 6 felony. My question, avocado sized. Are these California avocados? Are these Haus avocados? Like, what kind of avocado? Are we talking small, medium, large? And how ripe is it? So how smushy is it? How this is way bigger than like a supersized tampon. How, when, what, why? How did that get in there? What is all in there? There's like, are they in like little packages within the sandwich bag? When did she do this? And why? Because what if that bag had bust? Like, it was, all that was going to get absorbed into her body. That don't sound like a good idea. Okay? Like, how long did she think she was going to be able to hide that? Because they do like a strip search, right? I've never had one, but according to the TV, you also have to like bend over and bend down and cough. And at that point, the stuff gonna come out your vag. Like the muscles gonna loosen up a little bit and it's gonna plop out. So I'm really trying to figure out, I don't even know what I'm doing. She had a whole like convenience store of drugs in her lady bits. I think I'll go in with this shade here. In her lady bits. Like, when did she do? She must have gone to the bathroom or something. But then, like, I don't even know, y'all. She thought on her feet. Because she was like, I'm gonna go ahead and be like, oh my heart. I'm gonna go ahead and just like fake a panic attack. I mean, fake a heart attack and refuse care because I just need to get to the bathroom. Just gotta get to the bathroom so I can shove this plastic bag up my hoo-ha. That couldn't have been comfortable. How far up did she get it? It had to, why do people be putting things in their, I was gonna say something else, but in their bits and pieces? Why you be putting stuff up there that's not supposed to go up there? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes in there, maybe that shouldn't be in there. But I don't think you should do these like class whatever drugs. That don't sound like a good idea. I am concerned for her health. That's why I'm asking all these questions. That's why, like, if you were a police officer, like, I just feel like I would be like, girl, how you do that? When? And did it expand? Like, how did you? That's why I couldn't do it, because they would be like, Officer Shawnee, we just really need you to focus on like interrogating the suspect about what's going on, like the crime, and not like the logistics. So I'll be like, dude, child, did you like squat and did you like squat? Like, you been in a tampon? Like, how did you do it? Like, I would just have so many questions. Like, so many questions. But she's not the only one doing shenanigans. This other one, this lady, let me find it. Because this one cracked me up. So this lady, this is in Florida. I have a couple of Florida stories. She goes to Walmart. It's always in Florida. It's always in Walmart. How old was she? Because that first lady was 41. This lady is 38. So she was at Miami Beach, North Miami Beach Walmart. So if you've ever been at that one, let me know. And she was like checking out. And the, loss prevention's like looking at the camera of the store, the surveillance, seeing what's going on, and they notice that there is someone there who they've had to like reprimand before for like shoplifting. So if you do anything like that, they like take down your info, and usually they tell you you can't come to the store for a certain amount of time. So they see her and they're like, she's not supposed to be up in here. Let's figure out what's going on. So they get to her. They end up calling the police because they noticed that she might be stealing stuff again, right? Police come and they see $850 worth of unpaid items. She had like put them in a bin. So you know, if you're checking out with like one of those big bins, I'm guessing like those blue ones, you know, people be putting stuff in there, right? So they figure out that she's trying to pay with counterfeit money. So I guess she had jewelry on, and the officers were like, take off the jewelry so that we can arrest you. She's like, okay. Homegirl somehow takes some of the counterfeit money and starts to eat it. She starts to consume the counterfeit money. She got about 200 down. I'm just like, where do people come up with this? Why did you think that was gonna work? And they can see you. They're right in front of you, sweetheart. Like, you just gonna gobble them up? Like, you're just making it worse. You're just making it worse. I just imagine sometimes these police officers go home and they're just like, the things I saw, did, and stopped today. Now there's another one. This lady, she lives with her boyfriend. I also think she was in her 30s or 40s. These are not people who shouldn't, like, they should have some sense at this point. How old is she? 44. So we got 41, 38, 44. These are people who should have some sense, right? But age doesn't mean sense. So she was taken into custody because of some shenanigans. So she and her boyfriend were at home. I think he was like on the couch sleeping. So she like hops on top of him, and I guess he's thinking, ow, sexy time, right? No, it wasn't, because homegirl thought that she saw him like looking at other women, not doing anything else, but looking at other women. So she goes ahead and stabs him in the eye with a rabies needle. What's a rabies needle, you might ask? And why would a woman who's been with someone for 8 years stab him in the eye with it? She pierced his right eyelid. Apparently, the rabies needle is like for their dog. I don't know what it does. What is a rabies needle? Is it, and why do you have it? Is she supposed to have that? I 100% know that she's not supposed to stab anyone in the eye with it. Like, I'm pretty sure about that one. But what do you, like, why is it a rabies needle? I don't think they ever really explained. They were just like, it's for their dog. So she pieced out. She stabbed him and she left, and the boyfriend called the police. But then they found her real close. They found her outside the home in her car, just taking a good old nap in her car. I guess it like really, there was a lot, oh, look at that. There was a like exertion from like stabbing her boyfriend in the eye. And so she was charged with domestic violence, like aggravated battery. What I don't understand, she has been sentenced to house arrest and also ordered to stay away from her boyfriend. What I don't understand, if they live in the same house, how's that gonna work? How does that work? Does he have to move out? Does she? Like, how does that work? I'm sentencing you to house arrest, the same house that you live in with your partner, and you have to stay away from him. I'm pretty sure he wants her to stay away from him too, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's like, we've been here before. But I'm just curious about how are you gonna do that? How does that work, right? Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Okay, so have you heard of squatters' rights? This, I feel like, has been coming up for a while now. I think I'm going to use my ColorFix Nude just for like spot concealing and stuff. I don't really feel like I want to put on a lot of makeup today. And I'm kind of all over the place because I'm tired. Gonna start with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm. This is in the Universal shade. So I've been listening to a lot of audible books. Now, I'm one of those people who's like a purist when it comes to like literature. I'm like, I want the book, I want to hold the book, but times are changing, right? So I've been listening to Audible, and there are books on there, there are podcasts, but there are also these like almost like plays. So it's like a book, but rather than people saying like, and then Shawnee was thinking blah blah blah, when they're doing it like in the play style, it's like, I would say, I'm thinking, you know what I mean? I think you get it, right? So there was one where there was this couple, and they decide that they're gonna move. I think it was from like Philadelphia. They're gonna move, and they're moving because it's a heterosexual couple. They're moving because he got a job. The husband gets a job. It's like a tech job, and they move from Philly to LA, to like downtown LA, close to downtown LA. Just gonna put some of this here. So they move, and his wife is pregnant with their first child. So he's excited, she's excited. She's not as excited because, being the man that he is, he went ahead and kind of just bought the house, like, and now they have a mortgage and everything. And he didn't really tell her. He was just like, we gotta move, we gotta get a place to stay. Here's this house. For some reason, it's lower than it should be, so we're gonna jump on it. So they do that. They feel a little weird because they're the only people of color in the entire neighborhood. So they're like getting settled. The wife keeps saying, I hear, this is a story, y'all, this isn't real life. So the wife keeps saying, I hear some noise, like there's some noise in the house. And the husband is like, it's just the house settling, right? People always say that. The house is just settling. Settling what? I mean, I know the foundation is settled. So he goes to work one day, and she calls him in a panic, and she's like, I hear something in the house. And he's like, girl, it's my first day of work. And she's like, so you're just gonna let your pregnant wife be up in here by herself with some noise? So he rushes home. He doesn't hear anything. So he's like, okay, dude, like, what's going on, girlfriend? And she's like, I'm telling you, I heard something. So there was one day when he went outside, and he saw this man just like laid out on their grass like a drunk guy. And the husband is like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, you good? And the guy is like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And the husband is like, it's all good, you know, I just gotta go to work, so move along. And he's obviously someone who is unhoused, doesn't have anywhere to live. But the husband is just like super nice to him, right? Soup's nice. And the guy is just so appreciative. He's like, thanks, man, you're one of the good ones, blah blah blah. So they start to form a friendship. The guy just like hangs around the neighborhood. Whenever he sees the husband, he's like, what's up, dude, you know. Then one night it's raining, and so he knocks on the door of the couple's house, and he's like, can I just stay on your porch until the rain stops? And the husband's like, dude, you can come in. And his wife is kind of like, Why are you letting him in our house? So they let him like sleep on the couch because the husband is like, you can stay wait the rain out here. Just like hop on the couch. Here's some clothes you can change into, or some towels and stuff. All good to go. Now, when they wake up in the morning, don't nothing happen. When they wake up in the morning, home dude is gone. And he had like folded the towels, like put them, in the washroom, all that jazz. So they're like, cool, that's super nice, And then they go into the washroom and they kind of see something on the ground. And they move stuff around and it's like a trap door. But the husband can't open it, right? So he's like, this is weird. So he goes to like City Hall or something, and he gets the blueprints of the house, and it doesn't show any sort of trap door on there in terms of the construction of the house. So he's like, this is weird. Anyway, he goes home, and he's at home, and this time he hears the noise. And he's like, what the hell? So he records it and he takes it to his job because he's in like a tech job. So he takes it to the AV guys, and the guy is able to like isolate the sound. And he's like, dude, this noise is a baby crying. So home dude is like, what you telling me? Okay, so he goes home and he just like manages, he uses like some tools and he pulls up the trap door. Guess who come up out that trap door? The dude that had been on the lawn, passed out. And then so he comes out, he's like, hey guys, what's up? Then he's like, come on, girl, Laura, her name was Lorelai. Come on, Lorelai, and bring the kids. So a lady with her 2 kids come up out the thing too. So the couple is like, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of our house. And, the babies are crying because the couple is pissed. They're like, what the fuck? Like, get out of my house. And the baby's like, or the little kids. One is a baby, one is like a toddler. And they're like, oh my God, mommy, he's like scaring me. And the dad is like, don't worry, little John. And they're like, get out of our house. What are you doing? You've been living under our house? How long have you been down there? And the guy is like, actually, you need to get out of my house. Excuse? And so dude has some paperwork and he's like, yeah, I've been paying taxes on the house for 5 years, so it's mine. And the couple is like, what? So they call the police. This is where some of the racist stuff comes in, because the police are listening to the guy but not listening to the couple. And he gives the police his paperwork and he's like, this is my house. And the couple is told to leave. The couple is told to leave their home. Let me tell you something. They left. They didn't take nothing. They didn't take none of their stuff. They left everything. Their clothes, like their drawers, their furniture, everything. They left it up in the house and they left. And so they went to a friend's house and they were like, can we stay here? And he's like, what's going on? So they don't really tell him too much about it. But they're like, we don't know what's going on, but these people say it's their house. I don't know that I would have left. Would you have left? I don't know. I'm paying a mortgage on this house, and you living up underneath it. Ain't nobody told you to pay these taxes. But anyway, so the couple goes to a lawyer because they hear on the news like that there's this thing where people are squatting in these like mansions and stuff, and the families who are there have to like leave. So the lawyer is like, I'm gonna get your house back, but it's probably gonna take a few years. So you're gonna have to find somewhere else to live. And they're like, but it's our house. And she's like, but it's their house. And so they end up moving across the street from the house in like a rented room. And they are so confused. They're so pissed. They're just like what's happening? And then somehow they happen upon YouTube. The family has a channel where they have documented living in a bunker for 5 years. So come to find out, because now we cut to the squatters, their story. Basically, the woman was like a home health aide for this older man who had been in the war and different things. Seems like he had some PTSD, maybe coming on with some dementia, and he had built an entire bunker under his house. I'm talking you could live down there for 5 years. So what did he have in there? He had there was a bathroom, there was a kitchen, like little living space, everything. As you can see, like the couple stayed there for 5 years and they documented it. And apparently the law, I don't know if it's for real law or just like in the story, the law was like, if you pay the property taxes for like 5 years, you own the property. Guess what they did? They had paid the property taxes for 5 years. So it's their house. The husband is obsessed with getting their house back, as they should be. He calls his brother, and his brother was like, why the hell did you leave your house? Which, you know, we're probably all wondering that. Why you leave? But it seems like they felt like they didn't have a choice. The wife is pregnant, you know, all that jazz. So they're trying to figure out a way to get their house back. Well, the guy is. The wife is like, let me be pregnant in peace. Just leave the house. We're taking a loss. Okay. And the husband is like, nah, man. So what happens is the husband realizes that the squatters haven't changed the Wi-Fi password. So he goes onto the Wi-Fi, and the squatters are literally having a party in the house, using the couple's grill, their meat in the fridge. And so the guy decides, I'm gonna get my effing house back, yo. So he goes ahead and he projects, because he's right across the street, he projects the YouTube channel onto like this big screen they have in the backyard. And the neighbors are like, what's going on, guys? They really, in the play, they really had these people talking like, the quintessential like Valley Girl speak. And I'm like, y'all, this is downtown LA. Don't nobody talk like that, okay? But they were going hard with the, with the Valley Girl speech. And the neighbors are like, what's going on, guys? Like, is this true? And the husband is like, yeah, check it out. Check out the house. There's a bunker down there. So one of the ladies goes in and she comes back out the house and she's like, oh my God, you guys, it's totes true. There's a bunker down there. Have you guys been living in a bunker? And so the neighbors start to shun them. I'm gonna get to the point. There's a point to this. The neighbors start to shun them, and right at that moment, the wife goes into labor. So now home dude has to leave and go tend to his wife, who's having their first child. And then it like cuts to maybe like a couple months later. Apparently the couple has like moved in with either the wife or the husband's family. So I guess they're out the house. I don't know. They didn't wrap it up real well, this story. And the squatters are now They are at the house also, and you see or read that the guy is trying to get some construction work on this plot of land where they are building a house, and you sort of get the impression that he's about to do the same thing again. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of people where I can, because y'all are rich, and, you know, those of us who are struggling can't even manage to find housing that is consistent. But the couple was like, dude, we struggling too. Like, for real, for real? Anyway, so I say all that because there's a story about this couple in Florida. It's always Florida. And they are known in the neighborhood for doing these extravagant Christmas decorations, like to the point where some people are like, y'all a nuisance, right? And some people are like, oh my god, we love it. But you know, you probably do this too, where you drive around to the neighborhoods that have like the light shows practically for Christmas and stuff. Child, come to find out, these people been squatting. They've been squatting in this house for 15 years, okay? They've been in the house for almost 2 decades. Oh my God. And you know what they have? Squatters' rights. Y'all, what would you do? What would you do? I don't even know. First of all, how you gonna have rights over my home? This is my house. Child, I don't know. Either we would be roommates until they figured it out. Like, I don't even know, y'all. But I think that is the craziest thing I have heard recently. These people just can, I mean, the story is like a story, but I think it's based on real life, because I have heard this on several occasions, like people squatting places they don't gotta leave because they have tenants protection or squatters' rights. How you gonna do that? Like, let me go squat in like Beyonce house or something. She got a bunker, because if that's the case, we about to come up. We about to come right on up, okay? And we about to be in Beyonce's house, living our best life. When I tell you we about to live our best life, I am so aghast. Girl, I'm just like, it's not funny. It's not funny, but it is. But I feel like I'd be fighting somebody. I feel like I would legit be fighting somebody. I know you're not about to come up in my house and you talking about you own it, but you've been living under my house for 5 years, and this other Florida couple been living in this house decorating for almost 2 decades. Y'all all up in the news and stuff. That's real bold. That's real bold. I ain't never heard nothing like that. Like, usually you would think people are like trying to stay, you know, like conspicuous and stuff. Or inconspicuous and stuff. But you up here, you got the best lights in the neighborhood. Like, when I tell you, girl, I would be so mad. Like, I know you just did not. And in the story, no, you not having a party. No, you not using my grill. You over here wearing my drawers and my clothes. No. I said no. Like, y'all, I'm looking for socks up in here. I am just... There are other stories. Did you hear about the one, I think it was California, this guy was renting out his like guest house, pool house, something. This woman, she reserved for 6 months. Like, she was about to live here for half a year, right? She paid like $30,000. That's a bit much, but it's not compared to, like, she was living in, what was it, like Brentwood? Wasn't that where OJ lived? So, you know, real nice houses. Child, she stayed in that house for over 500 days. The man could not get her out his house. She was like, nope, I'm gonna stay right here. Y'all, I might have to accidentally burn down that house. Oopsies. Why? The man was even offering her money to leave his house. And because this was an Airbnb thing, and Airbnb is like, we just have on here that she was in there for 6 months, and now it's an issue between them. This is a third party thing. Girl, when I tell you, people are real janky. I just am like, I am so, the things people do. These are the people that, like, the government needs to hire, because obviously they real, like, they could figure stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, when I tell you, you could have knocked me over with a feather. There was another story where this lady was trying to get her 2 sons up out her house. They're like in their mid-40s. They would not leave. She had to go get like a court injunction or something to get her kids up out her house. How y'all gonna do that? How you gonna stay inside? You not paying no bills. You not mowing no lawn. You are literally not doing anything but causing me distress. That's what you're doing. Child, let me see if this person is here. Child, I ain't never heard nothing like that. And now it's so crazy that they basing stories off of it. I don't know. Would you leave the house? Let me know what you would do if you were in the story. If you would leave that house, or if you would stay your behind right there. And then, what do you think of the couple with the Christmas lights who've been mind you, the squatter, the lady, I think her husband passed away, unfortunately. The lady's a realtor, so she knew her rights. Let me know what you would do, y'all. Let me go get to work. Hopefully some of this was helpful. I also hope that you're continuing to take care of yourself. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I would love it if you liked the video. I would love it even more if you subscribe to the channel. Here's the finished look. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.